Hey everyone, Chevy 1000 here. Today we're outside. There's the Chevy Traverse. This is a 2010. We're starting to get some miles on it, but right now it needs a set of brakes, so we got to get these brakes put on here. I'll show you one. I won't show you both because the other one's just the same exact thing except the other side. And then when we get it done, I'll show you how to set the brakes up. So let me get you pointed down here, get this wheel off, and we'll get it turned this way. Let's see what it takes to take these pads off of here, put the new ones on. Stick around. Let's go ahead and get this wheel off of here. That's weird. I guess my best gun just stopped working. I don't have any power. Let me check this out. Okay, I think it needed a little oil. Alright, get you off here. Now we heard it made a noise last night on us. I thought I heard it yesterday. I backed this truck up and I thought I heard it then, but it looks like it started to get down to the metal. I think this is going to be alright because I don't have any. Without putting this back on, going up and getting rotors, I think I'll hold off on the rotors. Alright, I'm gonna get this wheel turned all the way towards me. We'll get a wrench. I don't know, what is that, 12, 13? And I'm gonna get a C-clamp, push that piston in. So, let me do that. I was gonna say, man, that thing, that's the one I put this wheel on with. Yeah, that's old, that one there. But let me get the stuff I need and we'll get this wheel turned all the way this way. I want to show you something real quick. I'm going to be taking this bolt out and that bolt out there. Now if I was going to take this rotor off, I would still have the mount for the rotor. If that was the case, if I was going to do that, I would leave these two in and take this bolt out and that bolt out there and just leave that all as a unit. Saves you a little bit of time. Not a lot of time, but a little bit. If you do a bunch of these a day, just those two bolts will make a difference, because think about it. That's two bolts on each side, so now you got 4 bolts that you're not going to have to worry about. But since we're not going to be replacing that rotor, we're just going to take that one and that one off. Okay, let's get this off of here. These aren't usually really tight. Sometimes they are if they've been on there years and years and the car sat a lot, but normally they're Just these 13 millimeter head bolt. Head bolt. The head is 13 millimeter. Okay, there's that. Okay, this has the double piston in it. See, there's one piston. There's the other piston. That's good. And this is weird that they got down to the metal. Let me show you what one's supposed to look like. Usually it's the inner one because that's where your piston's pushing. So, we've got our new hardware. I just went with a medium grade because I know the real hard ones sometimes will, they'll squeal. Look at that. That's the thickness they should be. And that's the thickness they are, and they were cracking, so alright, I think we're going to be alright. I'm going to take this out. Maybe. Come on. There we go. Alright. These new ones already have the backing on them. Sometimes they don't come with that and you'll have to use your old one. Sometimes they don't come with these, you got to use your old one. But so let's go ahead, let's get this piston pushed back in. I'm going to raise the hood and take the master cylinder cap off and put this rag in there in case any brake fluid squirts out. Okay, so I got that done. Now we're just going to use a C-clamp. If you don't have one of these, get one of these. They're cheap and they work flawlessly. Well worth it. It's better than prying on your caliper, especially, or your rotor with a screwdriver. If you're going to change your rotors, that's okay. It's fine and dandy. But if you're not, you don't want to do that. And we're just going to push these pistons back in here. Okay, that one's going. Just go back and forth if you have to. I always use one of the old brake pads. That way I don't hurt anything on the piston, because I think these pistons are plastic. Some of them are metal. And if you're having a really super hard time getting these to push in, if you're giving it all you got and you're actually bending your little handle here, your caliper's probably seized up. That's probably what caused the brakes to go bad. But in this case, they're going back in just fine. That one's all the way in. Always open your reservoir cap on your brake fluid, because remember, this is pushing brake fluid back up into the master cylinder. And always put a rag around it so none of that squirts out on your paint or anything like that. This one went in a little farther than the other one, so let's take the other one in the same distance. Just to be safe. Alright, that looks good to me. When we set the brakes up, they'll equal out. Now, let's get one of our hardware things out here. This one's got a tab broke off. These keep it from squealing. So, they're a little different, but aftermarket. There we go. Fits nice. Good. Now let's put this one on top. A lot of times these can get confusing, so that's why I always do one at a time. There we go. Alright, now, let's see, I think these are the same. Yeah. This is a squealer. This is to let you know your brakes are getting low. What a lot of dishonest guys will do, you go in, yeah, I need my brakes done, I'm up against the squealer. They'll reach around there, bend that squealer back, and charge you $200 for a set of brakes. Now, let's do this side first. You just hold that tab up or down, whichever way you want to go with it. Probably use a screwdriver, but I don't have one handy. Well, I gotta go to the garage and get one, but come on, there we go. Like I said, all this does is keep your brake shoes from rattling around in there, or pads in this case. Alright. See. Alright, let me get a screwdriver to push down on that so I can get this to push in. Sorry guys, you wasn't seeing crap. Come on. Let me get this. There we go. Alright, now let's do the inner one. Alright, make sure, you know, nothing's rubbing that rotor. Alright, now I forgot something else, but let's go ahead and get this on here. And don't ever leave these hang unless you have them wired up somehow. I see a lot of expert mechanics just let these things hang with that rubber brake line. Don't do that, guys. Now, usually when you go up to the register, they have these little packets of brake grease. Don't use that shit. Why pay for that? Just use a tiny bit of grease. Now, the best thing to use on these is anti-seize or never seize, gray stuff. If you guys use that before, you'll know what I'm talking about when I say you'll be finding that stuff in your ear a month later. A little tiny bit, and it's like, the stuff goes everywhere. But that's the best stuff to use. But if you don't have any, which I don't, just use a very, very little bit of this grease. Any kind of grease. Get you some on the threads, get you some on the bolt there. Just a light, thin coating like that. That's all you need. That's all you got to do. You don't have to get all the threads covered, because once it screws in, it'll get itself up into the threads. And these, there's 2 flat spots on these. Just make sure they're turned, and because if you don't, it won't go on right and you'll be wondering why. So that's all you got to do. Now let's go ahead and tighten these up. There is a torque spec on every bolt and screw and nut on a vehicle. I don't know what the torque spec is on these. I've never torqued them and never had one come loose. But if you got a pretty long wrench like that, just give it a little bump. And that's it. That's not going to come out, because think about it. When you push your foot, put your foot on the brake, this caliper is going to go that way. Okay? So when it goes that way, what's it doing? Anyone know? When this caliper is going that way, what's it doing? It's putting pressure on this bolt, so it can't really come loose. Follow what I mean? Alright, now I'm just going to take this stuff, put it in here. I'll take that to the other side, but first let's get this tire on. Remember guys, front brakes do 60 to 70% of your stopping, because when you're slowing down, all the weight's going to the front. It's all going forward. Very, very important. Okay, so let's get this wheel on. Like I said, I'm not going to bore you with the other side. You already seen this. If you're following along, just you just do exactly what I did. Like I said, those things, you know, you got to push them down. These have been replaced before, of course, probably many times, and I'm guessing that's why. I can see where this one's been broke off. So someone broke it off to make it easier. But when you do that, is it really doing its job? Not really. So I put them on when I can. Sometimes, if I'm having trouble finding parts and stuff, I'll use the old ones. But let me start this up and straighten this out. Alright, let's get our wheel back on here. There's not a whole lot of, I mean, there's some brake dust on here, but not a lot. Okay, this tire, very worn on the outside. Normally, that's an indicator of an alignment issue, but in this case, it's not. The clutch is in the rear differential. There's a clutch pack in there. It costs $2,100. And what it's doing, it's locking the rear end into a posi track. So anyone that's ever run a posi track or a four-wheel drive, locked in four-wheel drive, you know when you go to turn, it's sliding the front wheels. A lot of times you'll see guys pull into a parking space or whatever in a four-wheel drive, and you'll hear their tires going. That's how you know they got it locked in four-wheel drive, because it's trying to push. Because when you go around the turn, one wheel, the inside wheel, spins less amount of times as the outside wheel. So when you got both back wheels pushing and the car's wanting to turn, it's just pretty much pushing these tires. It's sliding them. That's why they're wearing out on the outside like that. But like I said, normally some guys would look at this and go, oh, it's fine, you need an alignment. They give them an alignment, put new tires on, and they're back a month later going, why is the tires wearing out if you lined it up? Well, you probably need this. You probably need that. No. There could be other things causing tire issues like that other than alignment. So this tire is getting bad. We need 2 new front tires. We're going to have to get them soon, but if I put them on right now, what's going to happen is I'm going to wear out the new tires. But whenever we get new tires, I like to get alignment anyway. Just to be sure. All right, I'll speed you up for this. Uh-oh, not good. All right, here we go. All right, there we go. I'm gonna get the other side up in the air. I'm gonna take a little break, and I'm gonna do that, and I'll bring you back and show you how to set the brakes up. So there's the brake fluid now. See how far up it is? And it is wet, so it did actually push some out. See the rag? So let's go in and set these brakes up. And you always want to do this, because if you don't, that first push of the pedal is not, it's going to go to the floor. So let me see. All right, now I'm going to slow because I still got the cap off. See how that's going to the floor? All right, out slow, push it down in. You'll have to do this a couple times and you'll start getting the brake pedal again. All right, now let's go out here and we'll put the cap on. Yeah, see, I brought it down in. Okay, now all right, cap's on. Now we can pump it. And there we go, full pedal. Give it a second. There we go. All right, we're good to go. I like this automatic start. Well, it's not automatic start, but you get the idea. Check this out. Cool. We had this car over here before Monkey did that. Okay, guys, so we're all set. Good to go. I'm going to get my mess cleaned up here. And, yeah, while the hood's up, I'm just going to go ahead and check the fluids out again. Make sure everything's all right. I know she needs washer fluid. I got some in there, so. All right, guys. Shea Bear, the myth, the man, legend. I'm gone for now. Again, this was a 2010 Chevy Traverse, and I think it's like from 2009 up to something. A lot of them are the same. Buick Enclave, Chevy Equinox. Those kind of cars are all pretty standard. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. We'll see you in the next one. Bye bye, everyone. Take care. Have a good Saturday.